Now we have questions. So we're going to do our best to answer that. And to help me out, I have none other than Dylan Frost himself, co-creator of the Wholesale Formula, with me to assist me in answering these questions. So Dylan, my friend, are you there?
Ahoy, I am here.
Hey, man.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
So I know I've been jamming hard on the presentation screen. You've been looking at the Q&A that's been going on right now. And what are you noticing? What are people having questions with them? Put that back on, that we can help them clarify whether this makes sense for them to sign up with here today.
Yeah, I think two things that I've seen stand out. One is about some of the math for things like profit, for things like revenue, margin, and stuff like that. There's been some questions and trying to figure out, like, how much money can I be making, or would I be making, and stuff like that. So like, one of the questions I saw was about, like, well, if you invested only $600 as an example, right? If your profit margin was 15%, then you would only make $90 profit. And that is true at a 15% margin if you only invested $600. But what you have to think about with this business model, that maybe some people don't factor in, is the speed in which you can get your investment back. And a lot of times when you look at margin, when you're looking at margin, or you're looking at ROI for different business models, what it is never explained, or is never part of that math, is how quickly, when you invest money, do you get it back. With this model, when you invest money, you can sell your product in some cases really, really quickly, within days or within weeks. You can get it. We typically are shooting for, when we make an investment in product, that we're getting it back in 30 days. And so the less investment dollars that you have to start out with to buy inventory, I highly recommend that you focus on fast moving product that you can sell quickly. You get your money back, you can reinvest that money plus the profit. And then you keep reinvesting that over and over. And there's actually a pretty interesting piece of math that everybody can do. If you start with $2,000 and at just a 15% margin, if you reinvest 100% of the money that you make every 30 days, right? So that means you buy a product and you sell it within 30 days, which is what we typically suggest, between 30 or 60 days. If you sell that product within 30 days, and every time you keep growing your order size and growing your product portfolio, and you reinvest all of your profits each time, you can start with $2,000, and after 24 months, which is 2 years, you'd have $1 million.
Yep.
That shows you the impact of compounding profit and growth, when you can start with such a low investment. So long as you are constantly reinvesting your profits, you can grow a whole lot faster than you would ever imagine.
Yeah, and Dylan, people look at the beginning number, but then they forget the end number, right? So you started with $600, but within 12 months, you'd sold over $500,000. So we could focus at the beginning, and this is the problem that a lot of people have, is they only focus at the beginning and they say, oh, it's not enough. And then as a result, they never get started. I will tell you, every single business starts the first way. 0 to something, whether it's a penny, a nickel, a dime, or a quarter, or a dollar. It usually starts very, very boring. My first business win I ever had was a $4 sale, and it changed my life completely. And so it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So who of you would be okay with starting with $600 if you ended in $500,000 in 12 months? Would anybody be upset or disappointed or frustrated by that? And none of you would be. All of you would be smart to realize that. And this is a snowball that turns into an avalanche. That is what success is like. But what people tend to miss out on, which is what keeps them poor and stuck, unfortunately, is they want to go from 0 to hero overnight. And there are plenty of people who will pitch you those opportunities, by the way. And there's a reason why none of them ever work, because it just doesn't work that way in the real world. So if you have more than $600 to start with, by the way, on your first purchase of a resale product, go for it. I mean, Dylan and Dan were to a point financially where the banks did not trust them, between the two of them, with more than $600 to get started with. So they were in about as poor of an economic situation as you could find yourself in. But again, how do you dig yourself out of that hole? You start making money come to you and flow to you, as opposed to money flowing away from you. So you could start, and you should start very humbly. The point to be understood there, if you really wanted to glean it, is this. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish. So if you want to start small and compound your success, you know what Einstein said? Einstein said, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it gets it, and he who doesn't pays it. And so if you get it and you want to compound your success, but this is what this looks like in the real world. This isn't the stuff they post on Instagram and TikTok and get everybody all excited about, but this is why those programs don't have $1 billion in verified success stories either. So hopefully you're okay with that. At the bottom line is if you can't accept that, we can't help you. And if we have to work on it and really tease it out so we can agree to that, then I'm game for that. But that's a fundamental decision you have to be okay and accept. Most of the spectacular money that people make comes from very unspectacular activities that are repeated and compounded on a daily basis. Dylan, what else are you seeing out there that we should focus on?
Yeah, I think another big one is I'm seeing several people that are not in the U.S. and they're asking, does this model apply if I don't live in the U.S. or if I'm in Canada? Oh, could you also help me to get set up in the USA, or would you should I only work in Canada? And I'm happy to answer this question. So, it doesn't matter where in the world that you live. Where in the world that you live, you can use this model. This model works for any Amazon marketplace in any country that has Amazon. But the great thing is we would recommend no matter where you live, you can sell in your home marketplace. That's great. But we highly recommend you sell in the United States marketplace because it's the one that has the highest volume. It has the highest opportunity, and it's where the most dollars are. So you can make, I sell in Canada too. I sell in Canada. I also sell in Mexico and the United States. Now, I make a lot more money in the United States, but I do make a good amount of money in Canada too, and a little bit in Mexico, right? So I've opened up. We're all throughout North America now. So I highly recommend that you set up to sell in the United States, which is not particularly difficult to do. It's much harder for an American to sell in Europe than it is for a European or someone from somewhere else in the world to sell in America. It's actually pretty easy to get set up from outside the United States to have a business and have an Amazon selling account selling on the United States marketplace. And I will also say, and I've always said this, I actually believe that if you are from outside the United States, you will be advantaged in this business model because I know that from experience from having done it myself for so many years. Because so often I run into these brands when I'm reaching out to brands, I'm talking to brands, I'm opening accounts with them. They're all so very interested in wanting to open up more sales channels and get their product out to other countries. They're always asking me, is there a way that you can get us into Spain? Is there a way that you could get us into Germany? Is there a way that you could get us, into Australia? And I'm usually like, well, no, I'm not your guy for that. But I know that there's someone that is. So that's a huge opportunity that you have. You've been able to reach out to these American companies, these American brands, and say, hey, I'd love to be able to sell your product in the United States. And if you give me that opportunity to sell it in the United States, I'd be happy to, bring it into Australia as well and be one of your Australian selling partners. When you have that ability to be able to do both of those things for brands, they fall over themselves to want to work with you. So by being international and being able to offer that to brands, they'll fall over themselves to want to work with you. You'll be advantaged. You'll have something that I can't offer, I can't do for brands that they are constantly telling me that they are looking for. So actually, I think it's great. And in the program, we do walk you through, no matter where you're from, what the resources that you need to know, do, and look at and look into to be able to set your business up properly and be able to sell on the U.S. Amazon sales channel. You don't need also a warehouse or anything like that to sell in the United States because everything that you buy, most of the brands will be able to ship it directly to Amazon for you. So there's not like anything that you're typically having to manage there. And if there is unique situations where the product does need prep, there are third-party companies that can handle it for you. So you're able to completely operate remotely, no matter where. If you're in the U.S. or outside, you operate this business remotely. You just do it from home. That's what we do, and that's what you'll be able to do as well. But yes, no issues there. You can 100% operate this business in the United States from anywhere. So many successful stories. I think of Chris Thomas. I think of uh, uh, he was from Australia specifically. Had tons of success doing kind of what I just explained to you here. And so yeah, lots and lots of international success stories doing this. So
You know,
no
Dylan,
problems there.
and there's another psychological way to piggyback off the first question. Our international sellers have another advantage. Like a U.S. seller, will be like, oh man, I'm only going to make $400 a month off of this product. Next, some of our international sellers, based on their economic conditions of where they live in the country that they live in, $400 a month is game changer for them. And so they just do it. Whereas other people talk themselves out of it, to them, that's not a barrier of entry. So that's another huge advantage. Now, obviously, nothing is perfectly good in one way or another. So if the time zone difference might be more challenging for you reaching out to brands, yeah. So nothing is perfect. Something will have an advantage, and then it will have something that kind of is a disadvantage. So you never get the perfect conditions. The most important thing to understand is regardless of where you're located at, the fact that you can get on a webinar like this is all the qualification that you need to be able to run this business. And you will start on the .com. Regardless of where you're at, start on the Amazon.com marketplace. And then slowly but surely branch out to the other Amazon marketplaces that exist worldwide too.
Also, as it relates to that, if you are international, when you enroll in the wholesale formula, that's something that you can't overlook is that one of the bonuses, one of the things that the wholesale formula isn't a course, right? I don't want you to think of the wholesale formula as just like a course that you're enrolling in. You're enrolling into a genuine coaching program. So when you enroll in the wholesale formula, you don't just get a course that tells you what to do. You get access to support and coaches who have created their business, have had 6 and 7 figure results with their business, and can walk you through and tell you what to do if you're having trouble, if you're getting hung up. How do I do this? How do I need to get my Amazon account set up this way? Or how do I set up my LLC in the United States? What resource should I use? Or how do I do that? There are people there to help you walk you through that you have access to when you enroll in this program, right? It is not a course. I want you to say that to yourself and think about that. If you've seen courses before, if you've enrolled in courses before, that's not what this is. It's a coaching program. Where you enroll, you have access to help and support. So you can't really get hung up on problems because you always have someone who has a successful business doing this available to you all the time for the first 3 months when you enroll to be able to help you out and support you there, right? So don't worry about that part, right? That's the thing is like any questions that you have just get answered by being in a coaching program. Remember, it's not a course.
Most of winning is in the showing up. You heard me talk about this earlier. You just have to show up. So this is a way of positively reinforcing showing up. So showing up on Amazon means what? It means having product available for people to purchase. That's what it means. And so if you have that, then you're good. And the more products you have, the more showing up you do, the more winning that can happen as a result of you showing up. And normally to get products live on Amazon is very difficult because you have to design them, you have to go to manufacturers, you have to wait for it to clear customs, it takes a lot of weeks, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of research, and this is why the wholesale formula simply beats every other approach to Amazon. It scales though too, because I know some approaches on Amazon that are completely risk-free, but they're like a job. Driving Uber and driving Lyft and doing DoorDash is pretty much risk-free. Somebody finds the customer for you. You just show up with food. You don't have to cook the food, right? You take them from point A to point B. That's risk-free, but it doesn't scale. So we like an Amazon model that is as risk-free as possible that also can scale to the moon, that can make you a millionaire without you working 80 to 100 to 200 hours a week. And that's why the wholesale formula reigns supreme. That's why we're so excited about it. And we're so eager to put it out there with the bonuses that we've offered and everything. Dylan, what other issues that you think are stopping people from saying yes and signing up right now for the wholesale formula?
Yeah, I see. I'm seeing a lot of these questions right now where people get hung up on like these. It's the question before the question, right? And so I'm going to hit a few of these really quick, and we'll talk about kind of what that means, and we'll analyze like what some of y'all are thinking or what you're looking at here. So I see a question like, is an LLC required? I see another question is, how are returns handled by Amazon? I see questions like, how do new accounts become ungated? Like, so all these little detail-oriented questions, right? That every one of those little detail-oriented questions like that I see, I can give you a very simple answer. And it's the program, the Wholesale Formula coaching program accounts for every single possible one of those questions, and is addressed and tells you exactly what you should do, what you need, and what you need to do in order to move forward, right? So it's all in the program of what you need to do. So like, is an LLC required? Their answer is no, it's not required, but at a certain point, it's recommended for you to be able to do, right? How do new accounts get ungated? You follow our guide that we teach in the program where you can become ungated to sell any product on Amazon in any category, which other Amazon programs can't really teach you how to do, but ours does, because you're doing the most authentic way to sell on Amazon, the way that Amazon wants you to sell on Amazon, right? How are returns handled? They're handled by Amazon. It's not something that you ever have to worry about or deal with. You never have to do customer service with people. It's all 100% automated by Amazon, which is the brilliance of using it. But I want every one of those detail-oriented questions where you're thinking about these little micro things, that's all handled in the program, in the coaching program. Even if it weren't covered in any of the content of the program, the pre-recorded content, you have access to those coaches who could help and support you through any of this. Ultimately, that you have to remember that this is a program where more people than any other Amazon program have had success with. We've been selling this program. We've been teaching and coaching in this program. Can you believe it? It's almost been 10 years now. It's been 9. So far, it's been 9 years. Many programs that you have ever seen before or talk about Amazon or that teach and sell on Amazon, they come and they go. They appear and then they disappear. Do you want to know why that is? Why these programs appear and they disappear? It's because the people that teach that course or sell that course eventually stop selling on Amazon because they stopped having success selling on Amazon themselves. Not the case with us. We've been selling on Amazon since 2011. Still do. Sold over $7.5 million on Amazon last year using what we teach here and what we've been talking about here today, those fundamentals, those methods. So we still have a lot of success ourselves, and our students continue to get success, right? So we've never had to disappear, go away, change what the name of our program is, change our names. We're very Googleable. You can Google me, you can Google Dan, you can read all about us. We're really easy people to Google, and you have to work really hard to try to find anything negative said about our program or anything that we do or teach. What you will find is a lot of people saying these guys are legit. What they teach works. It's real. The harshest criticism you'll usually see is like, the program's pretty expensive, but it's expensive because it works. It's the supply and demand thing, really. The program is effective. It's been proven to be effective. And what we're teaching is a model that works. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't some sort of crazy opportunity that's a once-in-a-lifetime that comes and goes like Haley's Comet, where it only will work for like 6 months. This is really the oldest business model, the second, I call it the second oldest business model, actually, where you're literally just taking products to market for the people that make it. Farmers farm, but they don't sell product. They're not marketers. They're not retailers. They need someone to sell their product at market for them. That's what you're doing. You're going to the farmers. You're going to these people that make product, and you're listing it for sale on Amazon for them, which they need. You can fulfill that need. Amazon is constantly growing, has grown 100x since we got started selling there. Just over the last year, the stock price grew 75%, if you can believe it, to show you how much Amazon is still massively growing. And you can be a part of that growth right now. You can start that today. So when you're asking these detail-oriented questions, just know it's all solved in the program. We're happy to answer them. But like, I'd love to see some more deeper questions about like, what would stop you from enrolling? What if you're thinking about enrolling? What's holding you back? What's keeping you from doing that? What would you need to know? What would you have to feel to feel confident in yourself to enroll, because that's what it's about. The thing is, like, enrolling on the Wholesale Formula has nothing to do really with our program. Our program is proven, and our selling model is proven. We've had so many success stories. Our success ourselves for so long. That part's proven. The model works. The program works. Tons of people have had success. So the question is, what are you worried about yourself that you wouldn't be able to succeed with it? Because it's been proven. This isn't like it's something new. We've been doing this a long time. So what are you worried about with yourself to be able to get that success? I'd love to see some of those questions come in too.
Yeah, and ultimately, whether you're an LLC or a sole proprietor, that's not going to make or break your success on Amazon. Whether or not you understand what categories are gated or ungated initially has no bearing on your success on Amazon. Those are things that strategically become more important once you make lots of money. But if you are on the outside looking in and you think, gee, if I don't know the answer to this question, then I might not be able to move forward. Yeah, that's scary. We don't want that to happen. We don't want you to think that because I don't know the answer to X, therefore I shouldn't do this. And that's what we're really here to. But the deeper questions are more important. And if I had to guess, Dylan, as they come in, a big part of it comes down to either the following. I've tried Amazon in the past and it hasn't worked out for me. Or I've never tried Amazon before and I'm scared because I have no experience with it. And those are two really good questions. If you've tried Amazon in the past and you failed, I totally get that. Amazon is like the Bitcoin of e-commerce. For every one person that's out there talking about how great it is, that got rich, there's 99 other people that failed miserably at it. And because it's so popular of a topic, Amazon is, there are so many supposed experts out there who are selling you a course on Amazon who they themselves have zero experience on Amazon. They're really damn good marketers, though. So even though they don't know much about Amazon, they're just selling what's hot. They would as quickly sell, heroin to somebody if they thought they could make more money with it. So there's definitely some concern if you're like, I've tried Amazon before because I bought one of these other programs that exist out there or tried one of these other approaches. How is this one different? That's the big issue. The other issue, too, is this. Amazon, some methods of Amazon fall out of style, meaning even if it worked before, doesn't guarantee it will work today, and furthermore, doesn't guarantee that it will continue to work tomorrow. And I know that's a big concern that a lot of people have, right, Dylan, is will this continue to work? Because there's a lot of Amazon models that used to work, but the reason they no longer work is they kind of went against what Amazon truly wanted. So Amazon tolerated them like a dog tolerates fleas. A dog only tolerates fleas because it doesn't know how to get rid of them. So there were certainly people that were working against what Amazon's vision was, and Amazon wasn't to a point yet where it was a priority to push those businesses off the platform. And they have pushed a lot of those businesses. What Amazon wants is exactly what we're teaching you here today. Think about it for a second. Amazon does not want those price gougers. Why don't they want them? Because it makes Amazon look bad. Makes Amazon look like they don't have the best deal. And it also makes the brands look bad. Because people then go to those brands and complain to them. Oh, you're trying to sell this for way too much. Well, I'm not selling it. It's a reseller. But, consumers don't understand that. They don't get that. So Amazon hates those models. Amazon is not a fan of private label anymore because they can only sell so many of the same spatula with a different logo printed on it. They don't need another brand new private labeled spatula on their website with 0 reviews from the same 5 Chinese manufacturers who manufacture and private label everybody's, spatulas. They would rather have you sell an existing, already successful spatula. That's really good. Or swaddle blanket, or, cooling mat for dogs, or insert any number of millions of weird, obscure, interesting products that exist on Amazon. They would rather you be a reseller of a proven product than to be a brand new product that is launching from scratch. So Amazon prefers this model more than any other model. And Amazon over the years, the last 9 years, has made this model more effective, and it has discounted every other model and made them less effective. So I have this saying in business, you want to swim downstream, not upstream. And this is the downstream approach to profits, where you can lay on an inner tube and kick back and enjoy the sun and float down to the profits, as opposed to fighting Amazon tooth and nail upstream to try to maybe claw some of the profits today. And then that doesn't mean that the profits will be there tomorrow. This is the model that Amazon wants. Furthermore, when you see a product like 74 resellers, when Dylan and I see a product like that, we get excited. Why do you suppose we would get excited? 74 resellers. Well, we get excited for one very simple reason. It must be incredibly easy to resell that product if 74 people are already doing it. And that's why we get excited. Now, here's some of the pushback, Dylan, that I know people are thinking about. They're like, well, if everybody resells the same product, doesn't that cut the profit pie up too much? And aren't we all fighting over scraps? That's a valid question. Okay. I had that same concern when I started in this business. But then I looked at it and I realized there are 3 million products that are worth reselling on Amazon. And every year there are new products that come onto Amazon. So the number gets bigger of viable products. So it's not like we're fighting over a finite number of resources. Here's the other thing that's even better. The number of shopping that takes place on Amazon goes up every single year. So every year there are more opportunities to resell products and there are more people to sell them to. There are more shoppers and those shoppers spend more time on Amazon each year. The market share is growing. So the real world practice is it doesn't happen where, we're all swimming in a giant ocean. So the chances of me running into you while I'm swimming in the ocean are non-existent because the ocean is so big that I could swim for lifetimes and never bump into you. You never bump into me. He never bumps into her. So the practicality of it is it doesn't happen because we've seen so many people go through this program and none of it has ever been an issue. The other issue you may be worrying about is the so-called race to the bottom. So Dylan, a lot of marketers over the year have trumpeted this idea that if I'm going to be a reseller, I'm going to sell it for a penny cheaper than you sell it. And then the next guy's going to come in and he's going to sell it a penny cheaper than me. And then the next gal's going to come in and she's going to sell it for a penny cheaper than I am. And so what inevitably happens is it goes down to nothing and nobody makes money. Okay. That is an illusion. That doesn't happen in the real world. And let me tell you why it doesn't happen in the real world. The wholesaler, the person who controls the accounts that the resellers get or do not get, the person who allows you to resell the product, they control the price. And so if you look at these products, and you can use third-party tools, you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at the historical price of any one of these products that have lots of resellers. And if anything, the price goes up because the cost of goods and inflation pushes the price up. The price does not go down. But the price largely stays relatively consistent. And what you're taught in the wholesale formula is you put the price at the same price that the product sells for. So everybody kind of keeps the price where the price is, general retail margins. And that's what's really cool about this business is you don't have to worry about the price of the product. You don't have to think of what the price should be. So those are the two big boogeyman, if I had to guess, Dylan, that people are really worried about that could prevent them from saying yes. Now, while I was waxing poetically on these topics, I'm sure maybe a couple other ones popped in that we should address too.
Yeah, there's a great question here that I want to hit on. It comes from Michael. He says, can you guarantee that anyone can have an Amazon account set up within 30 days? So let me answer that in a kind of a unique way, Michael. I can't guarantee that you'll do or accomplish anything, but I can guarantee that in 30 days, you can ask for a refund and get your money back. No questions asked because we have that 30-day no questions asked guarantee if you pay in full for the wholesale formula. So as long as you do that, if you aren't able to follow what we teach, you're not able to follow what we do, or you're not able to get your Amazon account set up in 30 days, it's no problem. You can just send our customer support a message that says, I want my money back. And that's all it has to say, and we'll do it. There's no hoops to jump through. There's no tricks. It's just a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. If anything doesn't pass your sniff test, if anything doesn't seem right to you, just do that. We do that because we've been around a long time. We have a program that works. We know it works, but we also understand that like people can be skeptical, or people may have challenges in their own life that maybe they can't follow through with what we teach in the program. So we're not scared. We're not afraid. We don't have one of those weird policies that makes it incredibly challenging for you to get your money back if it doesn't make sense for you. So when you enroll with us, we're just these kind of reasonable people that understand what we do, what we teach, and that there are real people on the other side of trying to learn this stuff, right? So you can feel confident and comfortable in doing that. And so the answer is yes. Obviously, you'll be able to get an Amazon account set up a lot faster than that, so long as you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. So just think about it from that perspective. There's no risk involved in figuring it out. Also, that you'll have access to all the programs, training deliverables and modules within 30 days. So what does that mean really? Like, I just want to I love to be transparent with people about this, right? Just so that you understand that of what this program really is and who we are as people and who we are as teachers and content providers, right? You do have the ability to enroll in the Wholesale Formula today, go through all of it, spend 30 days and use our coaches like crazy. Just absolutely wear them out. Ask them as many questions as you want. Join all the Zoom calls with the coaches. Go through all of our content, learn everything, and then ask for your money back anyway because maybe you're just the kind of person that wanted to try to take advantage of us. And you know what? That's okay. I don't care. That's fine. Some people do that, and I live with that. But a lot of people will go through it, have success, get results, and be happy, and find that they paid us the enrollment cost, right? And those are the people that we'll work with long term and we love. So either way, whatever you want to do, I'm okay with. We open ourselves up to that by having a really strong, really simple money back guarantee that we stand by, no questions asked, no hoops to jump through. So just think about that. Like what other programs give you that much freedom, that much opportunity, give you that much access, right? And it's mostly going to be programs that are, for one reason or another, are trying to keep you from being able to back out. We don't really do that, right? So that's what we are. That's who we are as people at the Wholesale Formula. Just so you can think about that. And then there are a lot of questions that are things like the only thing that keeps me. I see one here. Only thing that keeps me from enrolling is the cost or the price, and then there's is money. Another one here, price. That one pops up frequently, and so there's a little bit of a mindset piece there that I want you to think about. And if money is a challenge that's keeping you from enrolling, or the cost of the program is what's keeping you from enrolling, I want you to think that is actually the problem that this program is meant to solve, is not having enough money. That's literally what the program is about. It's about how to create a business. It's about how to have financial success, grow a business with a proven business model that we have used for years and years, that we've taught people to years and years. And that is, we didn't invent the business model of buying stuff wholesale, buying low and selling high. It's been around. It's the second oldest business model there is. That's why this program is a proven way to build a business that is, just so logical. It's all based in math. It works how the real world works. You're not using any crazy tricks to make money. You're just making money the way that you people authentically make money in this world with retail, right? And so that's what it is. It's meant to help you overcome those challenges. So if you have the challenge of price or cost right now, how are you ever going to get over it? Like what is like, and that's like a question that you have to really think and ask yourself. If this isn't the right program, if this isn't the right opportunity, which is a very proven opportunity, then what is the opportunity that you're looking for? What are you waiting on? You have to make a change. You have to commit to something. You have to commit to a big change if you're going to create change in your life. And what better way than with people that you can trust and a program that you can trust that makes sense, right? And so if this program makes sense, I do highly encourage you to try to bust through those barriers and think, maybe it's not really expensive. Because is the program expensive if it makes you $30,000 in a year, or if it makes you $60,000, or if 3 or 4 years from now you have a 6-figure business, right? Like, was $3,000 a lot? And the answer is no, obviously. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's exactly what Jason said. It depends on where your perspective is. If you're looking at it right now, you have to look at what the end result is. So what is your end result? What results could you possibly get, right?
Well, and this is why we make the installment plan available too. 874 is nothing to shake a stick at. For some of you, that is a significant investment. I remember the very first investment I ever made in a training program like this. It was a $2,000 investment. And I did not have the capability of charging that to a credit card. So what I did is I had my boss at the time, who I was painting houses for, had him come over, charge it to his credit card, and then I wrote him a check. Because I had the money, but I didn't have it in the form of a credit card. I had to write him a check. But in order to write him the check, I had to get him to give me an advance on my money for the week. And he did that because he saw that I was very sincere and I was very determined. And so I found a way to make it work, even though it hurt. So I'm not unaware of, nor am I not empathetic towards you if you're in a tough financial situation, because of, man, I have been there. I know exactly what that's like. And it's hard and it's challenging. But if it's the right thing to do, you do it anyway, regardless of whether it hurts or it doesn't hurt, regardless of whether it's easy or if it's hard. If it makes sense to you and you know it's for you and you can see the value in it, you do it, whether it's an easy thing to do or if it's a hard thing to do. But to meet you in the middle, we do make the installments available. Now, there's a tremendous amount of resources that are spun up for every new customer that comes into Wholesale Formula, regardless on whether you're in the installments or not. So if you flake out after the first installment, this is why you can't get a guarantee of a refund back, because the resources have already been sunk into you. So this is how they hedge it to be able to offer that to you. So it'd be nice if you could take care of it all at once, because you get that extra layer of protection. But again, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing anyway. And the people who need it the most are the ones that are going to have the hardest time making the investment. It's just the way that it works. So you have to reach deep down in your soul and you have to say, does it still make sense for me to do it? Even though it's going to hurt, even though it's going to be hard. And there are a large number of success stories that we've seen in the program who were in the same financial situation that you were in. And they found a way to get out of it. They just needed the right plan. But I get it. It's scary. If you make this your plan, then you have to close off the option of any other plan. And people hate doing that. They want to keep all of their opportunities open. If you're open to everything, then you end up with nothing. So you have to pick it and you have to work forward with it. And if you're deciding between this one and the other one, like you say, well, so-and-so has this thing and I want to invest with them. Okay, invest with the one that has more customer results. If that's us, great. If it's the other opportunity, great. I just want you to invest in the thing that's going to give you the best result. Now, I can say that very confidently that I don't think you're going to find anybody else out there that has $1 billion. And by the way, it's more than that. It's more than that. But after you hit $1 billion, you kind of quit counting. But there's a lot of success that comes out of this because it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if you're brand new, you think you're going to create amazing, wonderful, multiple high-quality products just like that? No. You think you're going to drive traffic just like that? No. You think you're going to write sales copy and build funnels that are just sparkly and on par with some of the top professionals who do this forever? No. You think if you have no name or notoriety that people are going to take you serious? No, of course not. This is why the other models, they can be made to work, but those are the elements that are fighting against you. Those are 10-foot hurdles, as the late, great Charlie Munger would say. So when asked about how he invests, Munger and Buffett would say, we prefer 1-foot hurdles over 10-foot hurdles. We got to jump over a hurdle. We want to jump over a 1-foot hurdle. So a lot of these other businesses are 1,000-foot hurdles, 10,000-foot hurdles. And we're offering you a 1-foot hurdle because you are selling other people's products. You are selling products that are already in demand. You are selling them in an environment that is most likely to be successful, which is Amazon. You are selling real world products that people need every single day and have been proven to buy every single day. You are exploiting a system that Amazon wants you to exploit. They want you to be a reseller. And you are just using the jungle with the guide that's cut the path from A to Z as easy as possible to get you there, which is the wholesale formula. And you are using the knowledge of, let me put it to you another way. Okay. Humor me for a second. If there was a safe sitting in front of you and had $1 million inside and you just needed to know the code to open up the safe, and I gave you the code, it was a 5-digit code, and I gave you all 5 digits. Would it be useful to you or would it be harmful to you if I then threw in an extra 27 digits? It wouldn't help you, would it? It would confuse you and it would hurt you. So Amazon is like that. Amazon is giving you the 5-digit code to open the safe, but they're also mixing in 27 other numbers that don't need to be there. And you're trying to figure out of all these numbers, which numbers belong and which don't. This is why the wholesale formula is a better deal than you trying to do it on your own. You trying to do it on your own is 10 times as expensive because you don't know the combination. So you're trying to figure this out. But wholesale formula removes all the noise around what to do or what not to do, and it removes the confusion and the uncertainty, and it shows you the clear path from A to Z. And then these bonuses, they give you advantage. And this is why it's such a powerful, powerful deal. But it's not open very long. Not open very long. It's only open for a very short period of time. So all of the resources can then be pointed and concentrated at the people that are ready to go.
Yeah,
Anything
next
else?
question. Yeah, next question is kind of related to one of the last things you said there. Anna asked, when do the classes start? And so there's two ways that I could interpret that question. We're gonna answer it both ways here. Anna could be asking, like, how often do we lead the Wholesale Formula class and coaching program? So that's a good question. What you have to know about me and my business partner, Dan, is that we actively sell on Amazon. We have a rather large multi-million-dollar Amazon retail selling business. Like I had said earlier, we sold over $7.5 million on Amazon just last year alone. We made more selling on Amazon. We make more selling on Amazon than we do teaching or leading the wholesale formula. So we spend most of our time and effort and energy on our Amazon related business. We also have an Amazon agency as well. And so we only free up time a couple times a year to be able to do these big enrollments of the wholesale formula program. Sometimes we only even do it once a year. It just depends on how busy we are throughout the year. So this is one of the very rare, very infrequent opportunities where we break away because this is the least busy time of year for us here around February and stuff like that, where we can dedicate time and energy and effort to lead a group of people. So this isn't a program where you can just join it whenever you want or at a whim. We do this only a few times a year, a couple times a year at most. This is one of those opportunities, and that means there's going to be a hard cutoff here in about a week. There's a hard cutoff on enrolling because that's it. After that, you've missed it. It's been too many days because we're already leading the next group. You're going to be too far behind, so that's it. We don't take any people after the enrollment date. That's how it works. So that it could be one way that question was asked. The other way that question is asked is like, when can I start? If I want to commit right now, can I start? And the answer is literally right now, in this moment, today, tonight, right now. If you enroll in the wholesale formula right now, there's no waiting. You'll immediately get access to content, be able to start watching some of the pre-recorded teaching and training right now. You'll get thrown into the group with the coaches so that you can start interacting with them immediately. And you'll see the schedule to be able to start meeting with coaches over Zoom immediately so that you can start planning and that. And that can happen as early as you can be meeting with coaches as early as tomorrow or Thursday, potentially, depending on what their schedule is. I don't have it in front of me right now. So right now, if you're excited, you're committed, you're like, tonight I can start right now, in the morning I can start right here in the morning, then might as well start right now and start taking that action now quickly with that. Keep that momentum, keep that pace. You can start today. And remember, when you pay in full, you have that 30-day no questions asked refund. So you can start today, see if it's for you, start finding out quickly while you have that momentum, while you have that excitement. Go start finding products yourself. So you can take advantage of that right now. Be thinking about that. So I wanted to make sure and answer that question in that way. All right, let's see what we have next. Dan asks, can you give a fun question? Can you give me a specific example of a product? Sure, I can give you a literal example of a product. Our best-selling product of all time, and see, this is the thing, I don't really care to be pretty transparent about these sort of things. So our best-selling product of all time is a dog product called Musher's Secret Paw Wax, which we still work with that brand to this day, work with them for many years, and we were made the exclusive their exclusive selling partner on the product. We've sold millions and millions of dollars of this product, and have made at this point over $1 million selling this product through the years. It is a popular brand in the dog paw wax niche, which is a small random niche, but a very successful product. And it's been successful for many years. When we started selling that product, it was one of like 70-something sellers, like some of the examples that we've talked about earlier. We formed a great relationship with the brand, and eventually they decided to make us the exclusive selling partner of that product. And that's what you have the opportunity to do. You can become from one of many on products to one of one. We show you, we teach you that in the program. We teach you how to become one of many and how to turn that into one of one, just like we have been able to do. When we started selling on Amazon, we had no idea what we were doing. We were just two dudes. I used to be a printer repairman. Okay, I was literally fixed copiers and printers all day, and I went from doing that, making $40,000 a year, to selling on Amazon and eventually building $1 million and multi-million-dollar business, right? And so you don't need experience. You don't need to know a lot. We've spent years and years figuring out what to do, mostly through trial and error. So you get to skip all that. Just do what works, and follow along so that you can create that same path for yourself as well. So yeah, that's the type of stuff that we sell. Products that you maybe never heard of before, but they sell a lot, and you can have a whole lot of success with them.
Yeah, and every product I showed today was a product I ran the numbers on yesterday. So anything you saw in this presentation, those 7 products that I showed were numbers ran yesterday with the exact formula and the software, which is bonus number 1. And I like to pick weird, different products like that RV hose support thing. I don't even know what it is. It's a piece of plastic essentially. But if you're out there RVing and you need to run a sewage hose, then this thing helps support it. And it sells like $1 million worth a year. Because there's a lot of people out there RVing, and they can't walk into Walmart very easily or Costco and buy that thing. They need to buy it online. And I just love products like that. Just love them. I have right here on my desk, Dylan, a product that I bought because it was an example we use all the time, which are these miscellaneous mixed and matched pens, like a box of them, right? It's a reseller product. Somebody just puts a whole bunch of pens in a box and sells them. And we were using that as an example, and I thought, what the hell? That's better than me just buying pens from the store. So now I got a couple hundred pens. I got them from every dang weird, obscure location. Like this pen right here is from Luminary Electrical. I have no idea what the hell that is, but it's one of the mix match pens. Dog flirt poles was another one that I saw that I was doing, where you take a flirt pole as a way to stimulate a dog that has a high prey drive to play with you. So it's a toy to train and play with a dog, and they sell like crazy online, and you just keep going down the list. I love the weird, obscure, goofy, dumb products that just so happen to sell $1 million or $2 million a year.
All right. So we have sold on Amazon and with this model for a really long time now, over a decade. And we took all of the wholesale accounts that we've been able to land and make profit with, and we created an average. We wanted to know what is the because this is the type of things you do in your business to try to figure out what's the value of acquiring a wholesale account. We figured out what's the average annual profit value of a wholesale account, right? So when we were running this math too, we also removed outliers that would screw this math up. We removed like the Musher Secret account that I talked about that makes us a whole, multiple 6 figures a year, things like that. They would kind of throw off the numbers. We were looking for a more true low-level average. And once we did that, we found that the average wholesale account through the years, on average, it makes about $7,200 in profit per year. For the sake of this, what we're going to do right here, let's just say it's $7,000 in profit a year. So knowing that, my question for you guys out there that are watching today, so this isn't there's no correct answer for this. The question to throw yourself in for this giveaway is to tell me if the average wholesale account earns you $7,000 in profit per year, how many do you need to replace your current income? How many do you need to replace your current income? How many wholesale accounts do you need? $7,200. It's like 7,214. I can't remember the exact number. I don't have it in front of me right now, right? So I'm seeing a lot of answers come in. And I'm going to ask you a second question. This one you don't have to type in. You can if you want. This next question you don't have to type in. I'm seeing a lot of answers. That's great here. This next question is, and I'm looking at it, a lot of you are in a similar range. It's very, very similar ranges here. I'm saying anywhere between 7, 10, 12, some at 15, 17, right? That's pretty common. So now my next question for you is, do you think that you could land one wholesale account per month? Many of you may be working full-time, you have a job. So the question is, do you think that you could just get one wholesale account per month? I'm not asking you to get one every day. I'm not asking you to get one every week. I'm saying, do you think you could find the time in your life to get one account per month? Every 30 days, you can land a wholesale account. Can you find the time and the energy to be able to do that? Okay, because the thing about wholesale accounts is they stay good for a long time. Once you land them, keep buying, you keep reselling, keep ordering from them, and you grow it over time. Okay. So now kind of look at those two numbers, those two things. You said, yes, you can get one a month, and then you've had the number of how many do you need to replace your income. For many of you, you would replace your income in less than a year. Many of the people that answered you, some of you would maybe take you a year and a half. When you think about it in those terms, it starts to become way more real, and you start to understand what the opportunity is with what we've been able to accomplish with this business model with selling on Amazon. Many of you literally just said, yes, you think you can get a wholesale account once every 30 days, which means most of you just came to the realization, oh, I could totally change my life, and you basically bought in and believed in yourself that you can accomplish this and that you can replace your income in less than a year. Many of you actually just did that whether you realize it or not. You finally believed in yourself. So the only logical next step for many of you is to actually implement and follow through. You believe in yourself. You know that you can do it. You know you can land one per month. So I just say, just do it. And Jason here in chat says, it's compounding. It's all about compounding, as Albert Einstein says. So yeah, the compounding nature of your efforts, you get more and more wholesale accounts, you grow more, and you can really start to scale too. We won't scare you with any of that talk of what it looks like to scale and grow your business really big to the multi-million-dollar level like we have. But the more money you make, the more investments and resources that you can deploy, and the bigger that you can grow. And maybe you don't want to grow really big. I get that. Maybe some of you don't want, a multi-million-dollar Amazon business, and that's okay. Well, it can be whatever it is that you want.
One of the ways, Dylan, is that we didn't touch on this, that is a real compounding effect, not just mathematically, but you do right by one brand and they'll say, hey, we have these 6 other products. Do you want to resell those too? So you switch the mode from you hunting them down to them coming to you. And so we see a lot of people up-level the revenue quickly once they do just a few of the things that these bonuses offer to them for extra credit. So you flip the switch from I'm trying to find people to resell to companies saying, would you also like to resell X, Y, and Z? And then you can up level even further where they start to say, hey, listen, you don't have to pay for the inventory up front. You pay out of profit. And then you can scale even faster then. So those are other ways in which the compounding occurs. But one of the things we pride ourselves in is being very straightforward with you as marketers, which a lot of marketers don't do that, is we're very straightforward. This is what it looks like when you get started. These are the numbers. This is it. This is how it works. And we have the results to back it, but we don't pretend that you don't get started the way every business gets started. You get started small and humbly, and then it compounds. So you overestimate what you can do in a month, and you underestimate what you can do in a year. And that's why you get stuck running businesses that are only a month old, and then you jump to the next one, and you jump to the next one, and you jump to the next one. That ain't serving you anymore. You never did. And I'm not helping you if I allow you to continue to do that. And so together, we're going to use this model, the superior approach, with the best platform on the internet to make money, which is Amazon. These are the best guys to do it, Dylan and Dan, and the whole crew and community at the Wholesale Formula. This is the best extra free bonuses that you're going to get to do it, but you got to act soon. Talk soon. Bye for now.